Today I'm going to show you how I made this potato tower using some 1x6s, 2x2s, and a 1x2. Since the bulk of this project is made up of 1x6s, I started out with 6 8-foot long 1x6s and began cutting them down on my miter saw into 2-foot sections. These 2-foot sections will end up being attached to 4 4-foot long 2x2s that were ripped from 2 4-foot long 2x4s. After cutting the 1x6s to size, I went to work assembling the tower. I began by assembling 2 of the sides of the tower by pre-drilling holes with my countersink bit and using 4 screws into each of the 1x6s as I stacked them 6 high. The idea of a potato tower is as the potatoes grow, you increase the height of the tower walls and fill it in with dirt, never covering up more than 1/3 of the potato plant at a time. This will cause the potato plant to grow more potatoes vertically as you add the dirt and increase your potato yield without taking up more ground space. This potato tower will be made of 6 stacked 1x6s on each side of the tower, totaling 24 1x6s, with each one being 2 feet long. This will create a tower that is 2 feet by 2 feet, and since a 1x6 is actually 5.5 inches in width, this tower will end up being 2.75 feet tall. After building the 2 sides, I proceeded to attach them to each other by again countersinking 4 screws into the corners of the 1x6s. I repeated this for the final side of the tower. I then decided to do a little bit of sanding just to smooth down some rough spots and knock down the edges a bit. Since the tower will start off with only one of the 1x6s attached at the bottom of the tower, I decided to cut some 2-foot pieces of 1x2s for the top of the tower. This will allow the tower to hold its shape while not blocking too much of the sunlight. I again pre-drilled holes with my countersink bit and then screwed these down. Finally, all that was left was to staple some weed control fabric to the bottom of the tower. This will hopefully prevent grass and critters from coming in through the bottom of the tower. After completing the potato tower, there are a few items that I think I'd like to change. First off, I need to be more accurate with my cuts. When I did these 1x6s, I didn't use a stop block, which caused them to vary from 2 feet to be a little bit less or a little bit more. The next thing that I would change is I would have used a butt joint here. I would have mitered the corners so that the screw holes would have ended up at the same positions on either side of the boards. Because of the way that I did this, I'm using the butt joints. The screws on this side are inset a little bit more than the screws on this side. Because of that, I need to keep track of which boards that I use on each side so that the holes line up when I'm reassembling it through the growing season. The next thing that I would change
so that I wouldn't have to worry about screws at all, would be to actually route a groove down the 2x2s on two sides so that I could just slide the 1x6 down the 2x2 as I added 1x6s through the dry season. Then I wouldn't have to worry about screws at all. That being said, I really liked how things turned out, and I'm looking forward to using this potato tower. I may change it next season, and I'm actually leaving the 2x2s tall so that I can either make this taller in the future depending on how things grow, or shorten it into 2 boxes so that I can reuse that wood. When I do that, or if I do that, I will at that time consider doing the routing idea that I had so that this whole thing will be a lot easier to maintain in the future. If you want to see updates on the potato tower as I make changes to it in future seasons, or see any other projects that I continue to work on, feel free to subscribe to the channel.